Revati, greetings to all of you. In spite of the strict COVID restrictions, we like to continue the celebration. Of course, we apologize that we are not able to have the participation of all our friends and devotees this time. We have been talking in the past about sadhak, sadhana and sadguru. We delved quite at length about sadhak and we passed on to sadhana. And we narrated the various traditional methods of sadhana and concluded last time that the path of self-surrender is the most effective way of sadhana. Now, when a sadhana is being initiated by a guru, he recommends a certain technology which is his own, which is quite suited to the disciple in every way to give him the fastest result. But before he starts the actual practice, there are certain preliminaries he recommends. One preliminary is to do some pranayama to see that the thoughts don't disturb you during your sadhana. Another one is to meditate on your Guru Parampara. Guru Parampara includes your Guru, Paramaguru and Parameshti Guru. And it is said that you have to do the Rupa Jnanam and also Tattva Jnanam of all these Gurus. We have idea only about our Guru, his form and his Tattvam and all that. What about Paramaguru, Parameshti Guru? Where are they? Who are they? You should know something about them. Guru is a term usually used in our society to someone who is respectable and who is superior to us in every possible manner. There are other suffixes there like Jagat Guru, Sadguru. We should know something about all of them also. Let us first take Jagat Guru. Jagat Guru is the one, either he himself is available or his teachings are valid till the end of the Jagat. Though he may not be in the physical form, he lives in Tejas Sarira and available to you on Upasana or in some other method or other. For example, Lord Krishna. Even today he is there. You can pray and get his boons. You can have his darshan. And his teachings given through Bhagavad Gita is valid not only today, tomorrow and even several centuries later. They are time independent and they are supposed to last till the Jagat lasts. So he is the Jagat Guru. And some others are also referred to as Jagat Guru. For example, Maitreya Maharishi. World Teacher Trust devotees sing in a melodious way Jagat Guru Navastubhyam. They sing in praise of Lord Maitreya. That's quite valid because according to Puranas, Maitreya Maharishi was available at the time of Krishna Niryanam and he received the Krishna Tejas or the Krishna consciousness into himself. So, because he has in him the Krishna consciousness, naturally, Krishna being Jagat Guru, he is also eligible to be called as Jagat Guru. This is about Jagat Guru. Then who is Paramaguru then? In our Guru Parampara, our Guruji has said that the at the time of Krishna Jnana, a 12-year-old boy who is none other than Lord Subramanya was there to receive the Krishna consciousness into him. He is our Paramaguru, and he remains at the same age forever, and he is the one who dictates all the spiritual programs of the entire universe. Nothing can go on in this world without his permission or without his knowledge or without his direction. Where does he stay? He has his constant, permanent abode in one of the caves in Nanda Devi mountain range, probably around 20,000 feet in altitude. And the cave is not a small one. It is so big that at the same time 10,000 people can be accommodated inside it. And he is in constant tapas. And it is said that those who evolve in our Guru Parampara, someday or other, the sadhak has to report to him, sit in meditation before him for a while, before he is permanently dispatched to his destination. He is our Paramaguru. Then Parameshti Guru. Parameshti Guru is Dakshinamurti, and he is Lord Shiva himself. And the difference between all of them is that they cater to the different levels of the sadhaks. For an example, in a college, a new staff member comes, highly qualified with a PhD. He can teach the first level course, he can teach the middle level course, he can teach the postgraduate course, he can also guide the PhD. But he cannot be underrated just because he is teaching the initial classes. It is depending upon who is his disciple, he is classified or given a name. For example, we have Guru. He talks to us and he applies himself to our mind, and our intellect absorbs what he has taught us. So the relationship is in the mental and intellectual level. That is Guru. The next level, Paramaguru. Paramaguru works on the level of consciousness. He doesn't talk and then he doesn't touch your intellect. He directly gives the command to your consciousness. For example, if he thinks something is to be done, directly the command is given to a particular person of his choice, and the command is taken in the consciousness of the disciple. From the consciousness it descends to his mind and intellect, and immediately he starts working on it. So such is the level of working so far as Paramaguru is concerned. And once I asked a question without knowing this, sir, our Paramaguru, does he talk to you or does he talk to his disciples? In which language does he talk? Then he said, no, he doesn't talk. He only gives the command to his consciousness. Gave an example. For example, if Paramaguru wants in the South India, Sankhya philosophy is to be propagated. Suppose he takes his mind that way. Immediately he gives a command to the consciousness to someone whom he wants to go, that he should go to the south of our country and then spread Sankhya philosophy. If it is going to be reduced in language, that language will be like this, Guruji said. It's not a language spoken, but when it is reduced to a language, it will be like this. Dakshana Digbhage Sankyam Prabodhitavyam. That is the command. But the command was not given in words, but was given through the consciousness. But the disciple who receives it, he takes the command, and how is his answer when reduced to language? Tadeva Kartavyam. He doesn't say, sir, I am doing it, sir. When you say, will I not do it, I go immediately. All such language will not be there. He will never use the word I at all. He says, it is Tadeva Kartavya means it is supposed to be done that way. He immediately disappears from the scene and he is so capable, so advanced, he plans his own birth, his own method of propagate. That is how it works. So, the disciple guru relationship is at the level of consciousness, that is Paramaguru. Next is Parameshti Guru. He works at still higher level. Still higher level is the ego. How even consciousness he doesn't care. Dakshinamurti teaches his disciples who are already highly elevated, highly evolved Maharishis. The four Maharishis are his disciples. He is a young boy and the disciples are very old. Mauna Vyakya Pragatitam, they say. He doesn't speak at all. He just conveys what he wants through Maunam, through silence. What does he do? He removes the doubt. He doesn't clear the doubt. Suppose normally what is happening between you and me, you have a doubt and you ask me. I give an answer. You carry in your mind your doubt and my answer. Again you get another doubt on both of them. Again you come to me. I give another clarification. You go on carrying your doubts and answers, doubts and answers. How nice it would be if your doubt itself is removed from your mind. Suppose such a doubt never occurs to you in your mind at all forever. That's a permanent solution. That is how Dakshinamurti works. He removes the doubt totally once for all. He doesn't clear a doubt. What is the doubt you have? The doubt is, am I born? Am I going to live? Am I going to die? What is going to happen? Whether the word is true, whether the word is false. Big questions are there in the minds of the Maharishis. Such doubts occur into them. He just removes the doubt and he doesn't clear them. That is the level of his working. That is Parameshti Guru. And in addition to all this, we usually use another word called Sadguru. We refer to Guruji as Sadguru Sivanandamurti. What is Sadguru? The prefix is Sat. Sat means truth, that which remains all the time. Suppose something remains now and does not remain later. Something did not exist also earlier. That's not truth. The truth is one which exists forever. Truth exists. Who is the truth? Sadashiva Tattvam is the truth that existed before the creation, that exists during the creation, that is going to exist even after the creation is involved. So that which exists forever is Sat. So Sadguru is the one who exists and works and available to you before the creation. During the creation is available. And after the creation is involved also is available. He is Sadguru. Our Guruji is one such. He is a Mahayogi who has been present right from the beginning of the creation. And I talked about the location of these Gurus. What is the location of our Guru? There are two which I know very well. One is inside you, one is outside you. Inside you, he is present always and watching you what you are doing, going through experiences along with you. Only thing is he doesn't associate himself with your working because you have not asked him to do so. Suppose you ask him to do, he will do it. Normally we go on taking decisions based on our own experience, intellect, knowledge, everything. But you don't involve him. Suppose you involve him in every decision of yours, he certainly obliges and participates in your decision taking and sees that your decisions are rightly taken the right way. See, that is called wisdom. Even great people did not have that wisdom. I give an example. Dharmaraja is a close associate and a devotee of Lord Krishna. When they called him to play the dice, he agreed. He did not consult anybody. He said it is dharma, why should I consult anyone? If a king is called to play dice, he should agree. So he played more on the words of dharma than on Lord Krishna, who is beyond dharma. He agreed. Duryodhana took the permission that somebody would play on his behalf, like Shakuni. Dhritarashtra, Dharmaputra should have also done the same thing. No, like you have taken the help of Shakuni, I will also take the help of Krishna. When Krishna comes and plays dice with Shakuni, who will win? Krishna will win. But he did not have the wisdom to involve Krishna in the process. He did not associate Krishna in the day-to-day life. So it goes on like that. Duryodhana should be said as a man of wisdom, and Dharmaputra is not going to be associated with wisdom. He is going to associate only with Dharma. What about Draupadi? When she was called to appear before the court, she should have involved Krishna. Things should have been avoided. She did not do. She said, I will boldly go and argue my case, and then I don't know what confidence she had. Only at the last moment when she associated him into her distress, then he came into the picture and saved her. So it should be wise to involve Guruji, your Guru, in all your activities and associate him so that he becomes the doer and you are free and no mistake can happen. Then I told you one location, that is inside you. What about outside? We are usually accustomed to locate people outside you only. How? We think Vishnu is in Vaikuntha, Rudra is in Rudraloka or Kailas, and Brahma is in Satyalokam. And then we go on looking for the gods and goddesses in the respective locations outside you. Okay, where is Guruji? Location, in the location where he is going to be there, where he has said that he will be there, I know. He is here in Bhimli. And for which, if you permit me, a small personal experience of mine I would like to share with you. It was the year 1985. I was working at Madras in the Anna University as a visiting professor. Guruji was here. And one day, right from the morning, 8 o'clock till 1 o'clock, I was very busy discussing with some foreign delegation about the consultancy project. Even for a second, a thought of Guruji did not come into my mind. At 1 o'clock, I thought, 5 hours have elapsed. I did not think of anyone else, neither my family, nor my children, nor Guruji, anybody, except the work. But is it a proper way? Is such a life safe? Is such a job good? I thought it is better to leave such a job. That takes all my attention only on outside things, not on Guruji. Then how will I resign the job and come? For every decision of mine, I used to take the concurrence of Guruji. Guruji has to agree. And how can I approach? I thought that was the 29th of July. 31st July is my birthday. That is the only birthday which I really enjoyed. Then I thought, Guruji usually will be very kind and considerate on birthdays. He doesn't cross with you, it will never be cross with you, and then he will always be very cheerful. And so I thought I will take advantage of that and simply took a train and came here on 31st morning. He was taking a shave in this house. And then he asked, how come you have come? You did not even inform me earlier. What's the matter? Sir, today is my birthday. I want to come and here and take your blessings personally. That's very good. That's good. You are welcome. All well, everything is fine? And he said, sir, everything is not fine. I want to resign my job. You want to resign your job, what will you do? I said, I will come here. Then he said, what will you do coming here? You are having such a nice job and a consultancy, lot of money, name, fame, everything. You want to come here and then do what? You see, you and your wife have developed a kind of physical attachment towards me. You want to be with me all the time. That's how I understand. I will put you 3 questions. If you answer satisfactorily, then I will permit you to come. Then I said, okay, sir. The first question. You see, my children are all at Hyderabad. I love them. And I am alone now. So they would like me to come and stay with them during my last days. When I go over there, will you also follow me? Then I said, certainly not. He asked, why so? Sir, I come with a strong faith that you can never leave this earth, this water, this air of Bhimli. I will stay here only, I will not follow you, I said. He said, Shabash, resign your job, report to me day after tomorrow with 2 suitcases, yours and your wife's. Then he told, what I tell you is truth. The truth is revealed through you. So he stays forever in this earth, in this water, in this air of Bhimli. So, where do you locate him? You locate him here. Or you locate him inside, whichever is convenient to you. That's what I would like to say. Then, coming to the point, see, Guru Rupa Jnana, Guru Tattva Jnana, that you should do as a prerequisite for the sadhana. I'll see whether I can make any point. What happens when you are not here? Somebody put a question. Sir, I am not going to stay here in Bhimli. I am staying in Vizag or I am staying in Hyderabad. Then I am not eligible for getting the benefit of living with Guruji. All the benefits that is told about Bhimli Patnam would I not have. You can always reach any place through your consciousness. Can you not shift your consciousness to Kailas and stay with Rudra? Or can you not go to Vaikuntha and stay with Vishnu? So wherever you are, nail your consciousness to Bhimli. Or take Bhimli into your consciousness, both are same, and you get all the benefits of Bhimli. That's what I would like to conclude. One another thing that I would like to share with you ultimately is the place is so unique without even any sadhana. If only you could live in Dharma, at the appointed time you get redeemed. Bhimli is capable of giving you such a redemption. That's what Guruji wants revealed to me. So, some kind of conclusion, let us try to live with Guruji. Either the one inside you or the one outside you in Bhimli. Thank you all. Clear on that?
sir. Rapid, sir.